Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So my name's Katie and today I'm going to be talking about some more recent reads and even more. So let's just get started. So the first books I'm going to talk about are the Chronicles of Dorsa series. So the first one is Princess of Dorsa and then its sequel, The Soldier of Dorsa. So I believe this is a duology. So in the first book we're following Tasia, who is the princess of this kingdom. I'm pretty sure, no, the kingdom, it's not called Dorsa, it's the House of Dorsa. They're like the ruling family. So anyway, so she's princess of the kingdom, and she has an assassination attempt made against her. So in order to like protect her, she gets this bodyguard called Jocelyn, who becomes her bodyguard, and then you can see where this is going. So it's like a princess and the bodyguard type romance. But at the same time, there's various political upheaval going on in the empire. So the king then gets assassinated and pretty sure Tage is framed for it, so they have to run away, and there's a lot going down. There's various like uprisings going on and things. So it's really interesting. I really like the relationship. I really liked actually Tasia. She's a bit kind of selfish and like snobbish at the start of the book, which I actually really liked because she is like a princess character and that is kind of realistically how they would be. And then seeing her like progress throughout the books, I really liked. And so, because sometimes I feel like when characters are like too good at the start of the book, you don't always get the like benefit of their like character growth and arc. I don't know. I really like the romance. There was some more steamy scenes than I was expecting, but I wasn't complaining. Tasia at the start of the book also has this handmaiden who she's kind of has a relationship with, but that's a sort of interesting thing. The handmaiden is not that nice of a character, so it's quite interesting. And then the second book, so I don't think I like the second book quite as much as I like book one. I think I would give book one 4.25 stars and then book two 3.75 stars. I know I'm being a bit silly with the half ratings, but anyway, they're not even half ratings, quarter ratings. So yeah, because I feel like the second book, Jocelyn and Tasia are separated for quite a lot of the book. And I don't know, one of my favourite things about the first book was like the relationship, so they're separated. So I think that was the main thing which I didn't like as much about book two, but I did think the kind of political situation is very interesting, although I was way more invested in like Tasia's story than Jocelyn's. But it was quite interesting because it is fantasy, so like there's demons like threatening to take over the realm, so they have to try and stop that as well. At the same time as like there's political upheaval in the kingdom, and Tasia's trying to take back her rightful place as empress, and it's all going down. So yeah, I would highly recommend if you're looking for a kind of sapphic high fantasy type thing with a great romance. I also enjoyed the audiobooks. I thought they were good. I was a tiny bit unsure about the narrator at first, but I definitely got really into it. So I think it was just because I just finished reading another audiobook, which I really liked the narrator for. So then at first I was like, oh, this isn't that other narrator. But then I was like, oh, it actually fits the story quite well. So yeah, that's that one. And then also read, so Dragonstorm. I can't even really remember this one. I think this is Alistair Christholm's newest middle grade book. So I remember it was so short, so it literally took me less than an hour to read, and it's basically following Thomas, who like gets taken away to be an apprentice like dragon rider, and he has this dragon called Ironskin, but he has trouble summoning the dragon. But in order to summon the dragon, he has to like let go of his home, but he doesn't want to let go of his home because like he loves his mum and dad. So it was really cute. I really like this sort of the kind of how to train your dragony elements. There's also some good illustrations as well. I think if you're a middle grade reader you would like it, although I would say it's definitely on the younger side of middle grade. I think maybe it's slightly too young for what I would typically enjoy from middle grade, but that's like not really a criticism because it is designed for children. So although I didn't like it quite as much as I could have, I think it definitely suits its intended audience. I think if I was a kid I would have loved it. So yeah, would definitely recommend, although I'm not sure how much I would recommend it to kind of adult readers of middle grade. Is my thoughts on that one. Then I read The Lighthouse by Fran Doricott, who is also the author of the Wild and Wicked Things. So I requested this one because I also have an arc of this one because I just finished Wild Wicked Things. I like the writing in Wild Wicked Things, but I think I should have known because I don't like thrillers, and I wasn't the hugest fan of some of the characters in Wild and Wicked Things. So in The Lighthouse, I did enjoy the story, but the characters drove me up the wall. They were so annoying and so like you just wanted to hit them all over the head with baseball bats or giant textbooks. And they're just so annoying. And they were so like conceited, and they just so like I don't know, it just felt so stupid. I really just did not like the characters. So while I enjoyed some elements of the story, especially the like writing and the atmosphere, I thought the atmosphere was so good. It's set on this like remote Scottish island where there's this like lighthouse, and then mysterious, so this group of 6 friends go away on like a holiday and to this like remote island, which is, I think, is a really cool premise. And then like mysterious things start happening. So I really like the sort of spooky elements and the sort of thing. But like these friends, they were like, it was so weird because it felt like they all hated each other. but you almost told like what good friends they were, but like they just weren't. They were just also, there was one character, Genevieve, who I quite liked, but all the rest were just really like, you just think, why are you friends? Like, surely it's not worth it. And yeah, I don't know. And like some of the other characters annoyed me as well, because like there was a character who like, so she was married to one of the other characters, and they'd left their like child at home, and she was like really sort of looking down on her spouse for like talking and worrying about their child. But like, surely that's natural. You would worry about your child, like if you go away, and like you would want to talk about them. I don't know, like I understand that parents always need breaks and stuff, but it just felt like she like hated her child and like would not want to, I don't know, it was like some things just made me a bit so yeah, I wasn't the biggest fan of that one. I think I gave it 3 stars because like I said, the writing, I think if you like thrillers, you would probably be a bit more forgiving of the characters. I don't know. Yeah, okay. And then I read Temple of No God, which is the sequel to Hall of Smoke. So I think I gave this one about 4 stars. I think I enjoyed Hall of Smoke, but I think I like Temple of No God more. And this one is very like Norse mythology, like that kind of feeling, which I really like. The main character, Essen. And this book, she's a bit older, which I think suited her character. Quite like thoughtful and kind of, I don't think somber's quite the right word, but she's sort of that kind of character who's a bit more kind of settled. And in this book, it has one of my sort of favourite-ish tropes where like she and this other character are married, and there was kind of a marriage for alliance, but throughout the book they sort of slowly grow closer, and I love it. And I can't really remember exactly what happens, but I remember enjoying it and reading it pretty quickly. And just I love all the like Norse mythology, and like the kind of characters are very interesting, and like this curse type thing, which I thought was really interesting, and like trusting characters, and it's just I really enjoyed it. I would recommend reading my full Goodreads review if you want better thoughts, because my brain's got a bit so yeah, that's that one. And then after that, I read The Galaxy Game by Karen Lord. I was really looking forward to this one because I gave The Best of All Possible Worlds like 5 stars. I really loved that book, but The Galaxy Game was so disappointing. I think I gave it about 2.5 stars because it was just so boring. Like, I don't know, I feel like all the good characters weren't really in it. They were in it a little bit, and that was probably why I gave it 2.5 stars, because the bits they were in I really liked, like Grace, who's the main character, and her husband. I just really love that. But like the main story, just I wasn't even really paying attention because it was just really boring. I don't know, I just didn't like it as much, and so that was a bit disappointing. But yeah, I don't really have that much to say about it because I feel like it was just so like meh. Like there was no point in reading this. But yeah, I do think Karen Lord is a talented author, but I feel like this was just an unnecessary sequel. So yeah, that's that one. Okay, and then I read Odd Spirits by S.T. Gibson, which I really enjoyed this one. I think I gave it 4 stars. So it's a novella, so it's quite short. So we're following this married couple. I think they're called Moira and David. Are they? Or am I just making up Schitt's Creek's names? The woman's, the wife woman is definitely called Moira. Can't remember what the husband's called. Yeah. But anyway, so the house is sort of being haunted. Like, things keep happening. And Moira is like this witchy character, and she has like powers of like, she like kind of spiritualist sort of like tarot and like that kind of thing. And then the husband is like a more kind of traditional like wizardy character who like does these like rituals and has like society. So the house is being haunted anyway, and then they recruit their like the husband's like friends from his like society, and they're trying to solve what's going on in the house. But it's like clash of different kind of philosophies of magic and then like evil exes, and it's just very entertaining. It's quite light-hearted. I did like the relationship though, and sort of that kind of, they're already married, so you already kind of know their relationship, but like they kind of, you're seeing the cracks and then like the cracks repairing. I don't know, I liked it, so I would definitely recommend. Especially if you're looking for just something quick and like fun and a bit spooky. Okay, then next we have, what does that even say? Oh, Hunger Pangs. So Hunger Pangs Bite. So this, I have no idea how I came across this or like where I even found it, but I loved it. So it is a like paranormal romance, I would say. As polyamorous, I was probably looking up polyamorous relationships, to be honest, like romances. So the first book, so I read the two that are out, so, but one is just a novella. So the main first book, so we're following Nathan, who's this werewolf, and he can't shift into his wolf form because he like has been shot with a silver bullet, and they think they got most of the bullet out, but like he can't use, his arm's a bit funny, and he still can't shift back from this injury. So he got this injury in a war that hit, so he's now after the war. So then his clan, he basically gets sent to this like island, I can't exactly remember why, but to take the job of like captain of the guard basically for this like castle. And the castle is run by this vampire called Vlad, Vlad is like the son of the like count, who is basically Dracula. But the count isn't really in the book that much, so it's mainly Vlad who's like running the castle and things. And then Vlad and Nathan like grow closer, and like I really like their relationship. And then partway through the book, this other character called Ursula, who's a witch, comes into the story and like gets a bit involved. So yeah, I really like the whole like polyamory vibes. I just like the whole like friendships and stuff, and like the friendships blossoming into romances. I just thought it was really cute. I really liked all the paranormal stuff. Like I love like vampire stories, and like I feel like I haven't read werewolf stories in forever, so I just love that, and like the kind of witchy slash fairy type vibes. I just thought it was really fun. Would definitely recommend. And I think it's really cool as well because the author has like 2 editions of her book, so you can get the like smutty version or the like non-smutty version. So I obviously got the smutty version because but I think it's really nice that you can get a version that doesn't have smut, because not everybody likes to read that. So yeah, I thought that was nice. Yeah, so that was that one. And then the other one is like Cruel Intentions or something. It's basically just a novella where they're just like hanging out in their little threesome. There is something going on, like they're trying to find like a outfit or something. It's very like cozy and wholesome, but I would really highly recommend it if you like paranormal romance, or even if you just like sort of fantasy romance. I really liked it, so yeah. And there's some quite good messages of healing and stuff. And Nathan, the werewolf character, so he's deaf or hard of hearing in one ear, and like he has this arm injury as well. So I think that was interesting, like a portrayal of that disability as well. And I liked how he's not like magically fixed or anything, but they do use sort of magical, like they make magical hearing aids for him, which I thought was really interesting and like a nice reflection of sort of modern medicine. I don't know, I liked it. So yeah, I would definitely recommend, especially if you're just looking for like cozy romance that's also a bit steamy. But if you don't want it steamy, you don't have to have it steamy, because you can get the non-steamy version. So yeah, would definitely recommend. I read Dreams Bigger Than Heartbreak, which is the sequel to Victories Greater Than Death by Charlie Jane Anders. So I enjoyed the series. I feel like it's very like sort of middle of the road, like it's not a favourite. I don't like, it's not meh, it's good, like I enjoy reading it, but it's not like a favourite type thing. So I think I gave this one like 3.5 or 3.75 stars. I don't think I like this one quite as much as book one, because I felt like this one was sort of almost verging into contemporary, and like it's definitely sci-fi, but like there were so many like almost pop culture references, and I was like, what is going on? I swear this was like epic, I don't know what the word is for epic sci-fi, but like not in our world type thing. But then they were talking about like Ariana Grande and all sorts, and I was like, what? So I was a bit confused about that, and I feel like it didn't quite fit with the story. But this story itself and like the sci-fi elements I really liked, and I like, it's very like queer friendly world, and like one of the main characters is trans, one of the main relationships is sapphic, there's various other queer characters, so I really like that, and I think it's very like entertaining, especially if you're quite new to sci-fi. I think you would find it really easy to read, but it's definitely like nothing kind of super special, but it's definitely entertaining. I feel like I like the first book more because the first book was so funny, because one of the like villain characters, every time he would kill someone, it would turn like all the other characters' memories of them like horrible. So, and it was just, I know it probably shouldn't have been funny, but it was hilarious. Every time a character would die, like suddenly everyone would be talking about like what a bad person they were, and but it was just done in a really humorous way. But I feel like the second book didn't quite have that as much, but it was still good, and it's like, it's a good like friendships in space, and I quite liked it, but it's definitely not one of my favourites. But I think if you like book one, you would like book two, although I think there is a bit more like strange contemporary references, which I was a little bit unsure on. So yeah, and then the last books we're going to talk about, not for very long, because is my rereads. I reread Gideon the Ninth and Harry the Ninth. I love these books so much. They're both 5 stars, obviously. This is about the 4th or 5th time I've reread them. Yeah, I just love them. I love Gideon, she's such an iconic character. I love Harry, she's such a mess. I love Ianthe. Oh, I have a weakness for like evil, mean, blonde characters. Yeah, so I just love her. All her like snide commentary, oh, it's just so good. I love like Cam and Pal. I love all the sort of like, what are they called, the god Augustine, Mercy Morn, Gideon Prime. I love them all. Just that everything was just so much fun. Like there's so many iconic moments. Like I was like taking pictures of lines in Harry. Actually I was listening to them on audiobook, but then I was getting my copy out and taking pictures of scenes. Like just especially the ending of Harry is just so iconic. Like some of the lines and stuff are hilarious. Like yeah, and just the banter between characters. I feel like Tamsin Muir just has this like way of writing that is just so good, and like her writing is like really lyrical and stuff. It's also really crude, and like the humour her characters have, we nearly went back a few millennia there to the 4 humours. No, the humour her characters have is just, it just hits me like in the right places. I just love it. And like the way the characters talk as well, I just really love it and stuff. So one of my favourite things this time, which I noticed, is when Ianthe is talking, and like she is like, Babs always told me I'd like have an epic romance one day. Well, he actually said I'd go to hell and get fucked, but I took it to mean the same thing. Or I took it as a roundabout way of saying the same thing. I love Ianthe. And Moira Quirk, the narrator for the audiobooks, just is so good. Like she delivers the lines in such a great way. Some other lines which I feel like might not be as iconic if you didn't listen to them on audio, the way she says things, they're just so good, so would highly recommend. Yeah, I just love the series. So anyway, so I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, definitely give it a like and consider subscribing if you haven't already, and I hope you're all having a really great day, and I will see you next time.